What's up everyone, my name's Alpha and today we're back with a Pokemon challenge video. Today we're on Pokemon Alpha Sapphire and today's challenge we kinda unique. We got a lot of explaining to do, but today's challenge we kinda be Pokemon Alpha Sapphire Hardcore Nuzlocke using only shiny dragon type Pokemon. Now I thought to myself, this challenge makes no sense. I'm just trying to drag out a shiny challenge. It was definitely that. But also, I wanted to try out if ORAS was super easy or not. There's only a handful of dragon type Pokemon, certain ones that we can't count because the legendaries like Rayquaza and everything else. So that leaves us with only really 4 Pokemon, which is going to be Flygon, Salamence, Altaria, and Kingdra. However, we can't actually get Kingdra since it's a link trade Pokemon, and you guys know I don't like to do that on my channel. So we're really limiting ourselves to only 3 Pokemon for this entire hardcore Nuzlocke. So at any point if I get an unlucky crit, it might be Rose for my entire run. So I'm going to attempt to beat ORAS using only these 3 Pokemon, and I only start with a Bagon first. So you guys do know how weak Bagon is. Bagon for the beginning part of the game, and I'll catch the other ones throughout the rest of the game. Also, they gotta be shiny, so you know, throwing some shiny hunting to make it more difficult. But you guys should know this is just a hardcore Nuzlocke and everything goes like that. And also each of my Pokemon will be nicknamed after you guys in comments. So thanks so much for leaving a comment in the previous challenge video. If you guys want to be nicknamed after a future Pokemon in my future challenge videos, just drop it in the comments and hopefully I'll pick yours. And while you're down here, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. A little longer intro, not gonna lie. But let's get into the challenge video itself. To begin off with, I decided to pick out my starter Pokemon as Mudkip because Draco is going to have a Mega Evolution into a Dragon type. So I thought it's going to be harder, but you will actually find out that we don't actually fight that version of my rival. So entirely picking my starter was a waste of time. It didn't matter which starter I picked out, but my starter Pokemon for this challenge video will be a Bagon, and Bagon surprisingly is not that strong of a Pokemon to start off with. As you see, Ember is his best move, and maybe Rage. Rage is arguably not that great, as is a move that powers up every time I get hit. I don't want to get hit, obviously, because I don't have any healing items for this hardcore Nuzlocke. There's some very close calls. As you can see, I almost lose this Geodude. Lucky enough, I get a crit on this Geodude. I forgot to heal before this battle, but luckily enough, I get this crit and knock out this Geodude and beat this random trainer in the first gym. So from there, after we get up to the level cap of level 14, we're able to get Dragon Breath and also Bite as a move. So both are very useful as we face off against the first gym leader in the game. We're going to face off against Roxanne first. Roxanne is going to be the rock type gym leader of the game, and she's going to start the battle off against us using a Geodude, which I start with my Bagon. Bagon is going to bite, hope for a flinch, it goes for Rock Tomb. So at this point, I'm like, you know what? Use my special move. Dragon Breath will knock out the Geodude in a second turn. So that's super nice. As she switches out to her Nosepass next, I'm able to get a really weak Dragon Breath off. Did not do a lot of damage. Luckily enough, it goes for a Harden. So I'll go for another Dragon Breath. It does paralyze her, and she's eventually getting healed up, which is kind of annoying. But a few more Dragon Breaths, and I'm able to knock out the Nosepass and get our very first gym badge in our Dragon type Nuzlocke. There's not much for us to do. We're just gonna make sure we avoid a lot of trainers so Bagon doesn't get past the level cap, because if it does get past the level cap, that means I can't use that specific Pokemon, and since Bagon's my only Pokemon, that means I have to reset the challenge. Luckily if I don't do that, and I'm able to face off against Brawley at the level cap. And we're going to start the battle off against Brawley, which is going to be the fighting type gym leader, with my Bagon against his Machop. And surprisingly, this actually got kind of scary. He went for 2 bulk ups in front of me. I'm unable to knock him up twice. He goes for a Seismitoss, which isn't going to do a lot to me since he's level 14. I am able to paralyze him in the second turn and also Dragon Breath to knock him out in the following turn. I'm not too sure what these rolls are, but I am able to knock him out in 2 shots. Then his Makuyita comes out. I am able to Dragon Breath and also paralyze him as he goes for a useless bulk up and a sand attack. Luckily enough, I don't miss my attack and he doesn't heal up, and I'm able to knock him up. So Brawley is completely useless. Brawley is the worst gym leader I've ever seen. The worst nerf I've ever seen too. From there though, something interesting is going to happen. Bagon doesn't evolve for a little while, so he doesn't learn any new moves, and we have to face off against the next gym leader in the game. He's going to be the electric type gym leader in the game, and he also has a Magnemite, so it's going to be part steel type, so I need to find a way to knock down his steel types. And my moves, besides Ember, they don't cut it, and Ember is very weak, so I decided to teach him Rock Smash, an HM move, which, don't hate me, he has 40 power, but it also could lower defense. So I start the battle off against Watson, the 3rd gym leader in the game. I'm going to start the battle off against him using my Bagon against his Magnemite. I do have a Cherry Berry on. I'm going for a bite. Hopefully I could flinch him. Unfortunately, I am unable to flinch down the Magnemite. He goes for a Thunder Wave. He does try to paralyze me. I do have the Cherry Berry just in case I don't flinch him, and I'm able to knock him out using a Rock Smash. He then goes out to his Magneton, which is going to outspeed me, and Volt Switch. I am able to bite him. Unlucky I'm not fast than either one of them, but I'm able to knock out the Voltorb with a second bite and then go for rock smashes off against the Magneton. He does a lot of damage to me with Volt Switch, but I know I could live another one. He actually misses a Supersonic, and I go for a rock smash. He does lower his defense. He's going for a heal, and at this point I'm pretty sure I could knock him out. Since 2 defense dropped, I hit him with a crit and still one-shot him anyway. So we beat down Watson just barely. Very smart play with the rock smash, I'm not gonna lie. From there we can move out, go out to this route right next to of Meteor Falls, where we're able to find ourselves our second Pokemon in the game. Finally we're able to find ourselves a Swablu. We're gonna allow ourselves to use Swablu since it evolves to a dragon type Pokemon, and also throw us some variety because we need some variety. We're able to find ourselves a shiny Swablu in the grass over here, which is super nice. Catch the Swablu and add it to our team. Unfortunately, I really wish I could use Kingdra, but I don't really have a trade machine, so we can't really do that, and I want to have this accessible to everyone. Anyways, from there we're gonna face off against the next gym leader in the game. We're gonna face off against Flannery. Flannery is gonna be the fire type gym leader in the game, and we're gonna start the battle off against her using my Bagon, which I said variety, but I still use the same Pokemon. I'm gonna go for a headbutt, looking for a flinch. It does not flinch. I was very careful because once I hit the headbutt, I remember she has flame body. So from there I go for Dragon Breaths against her Slugma. 2 shots knock out the Slugma. She then goes out to her Numel. This thing is able to get flinched down. I am able to flinch it down, knock him out in 2 shots. Her next Pokemon will be her Torkoal, which surprisingly, it doesn't do a lot of damage with Overheat, which is surprising. So she lowers her special attack multiple times against me, and I'm able to just head smash her. I don't get a flinch too often, but she doesn't do a lot of damage to me, and that's good because I also have an Oran Berry on, so that allows me to hopefully knock her out in the following turns, as she's unable to knock me out. I forgot she has Body Slam, but lucky enough I survive a Body Slam as well. Dragon Claws to knock out the Torkoal, and we end up beating Flannery, saving our Bagon. Next up, we have access to our next Pokemon. Yay, we get our full team already. We have access to the desert. We also have a flying type Pokemon, so we could actually run away from Trapinches with arena traps. But those are the Pokemon we want to find shiny. We want to find a shiny Trapinch that will eventually evolve into a Flygon. So eventually we do find ourselves a Trapinch and add it to our team. Now from there, the level cap is at 30, so we're able to evolve our Bagon into a Shelgon, which is a huge improvement because he also learns Protect, which makes this battle against Norman so much easier. So we're going to start the battle off against Norman using my Shelgon. Shelgon is obviously pretty good Pokemon. I'm going to Protect on the first turn against the Slacking and just beat it down. The battle is basically over. I have Rock Smash. I know it's kind of stupid, I keep using Rock Smash, but Rock Smash is going to lower the defense of the Slacking every other turn. Eventually, the damage is going to build up each time, and I'm able to 3-shot down the Slacking pretty easily. His next Pokemon is going to be a Vigoroth. I know I should switch out, so I switched out into my Trapinch to avoid any extra damage. He goes for a Retaliate, that does too much damage, and at this point, I should have switched out, but I risked it again. If it actually critted and knocked out my Trapinch, that would be super annoying, but I went to my Swablu next. Swablu is going to do some damage off against the Vigoroth. Eventually, I am able to knock out the Vigoroth, which is super nice. From there, I go back to my Shelgon. I did all this to avoid any extra damage to my Shelgon because the Slacking does a lot of damage. And luckily enough, I am able to survive attack from the Slacking. Go for a Rock Smash, go for a Protect, and the battle should be over at this point since he's unable to knock me out and I have so many Protects left over. So I am able to knock out the Slacking and easily beat down Norman and get our 4th gym badge in the game. I think it's the 5th gym badge. I'm pretty sure it's the 5th gym badge. I take it back. Take a note of this. We are going to get the Citrus Berry off in this area, which I think we get 6, which is pretty cool. From there, the level cap allows us to evolve our Swablu into an Altaria and also our Trapinch into a Vibrava. 2 very decent Pokemon. As we face off against the next gym leader in the game, we're going to face off against Winona next. Winona is going to be the flying type gym leader in the game. We're going to start the battle off against her using my brand new Vibrava. Vibrava is easily going to crunch into the Swallow and 2-shot him to knock him out, which is nice. She then switches out to Altaria, which I know her best move against me is going to be a Dragon Breath, so I know I could live it and actually outspeed him. Go for a Rock Slide, trying to go for a flinch. Unlucky, she goes for a Content Guard, so I had to switch out into my own Altaria. I take a Dragon Breath very easily. As you see, my Altaria, my golden Altaria is very, very good. Dragon Breath to knock out her Altaria, and then her next Pokemon will be a Skarmory. I go for a Dragon Breath. I'm looking for some paralysis against the Skarmory. Luckily enough, I get it, but I go down to very low HP. So I decided to go out to my Vibrava and eventually knock him out using my Vibrava and also the Crunch to lower his defense. From there, she's going to switch out into her Pelipper, which I'm able to knock her out using my Shelgon, and things are pretty easy from my side. So we end up beating Winona, get the 6th gym badge of the game, and now we can move out into Lily Cove City and get the Altaria Knight, which allows us to Mega Evolve Altaria, and we could try it out against a rival, and our rival is pretty bad. We do a lot of damage to her, and Mega Altaria might be on the most underrated Mega evolutions because this thing is very powerful, very tanky too. It's a Fairy and Dragon type Pokemon, so that thing's pretty tanky. From there, we're going to face off against the Team Aqua members in the Team Aqua hideout, and we destroy them super easily with my Vibrava. From there, we can face off against Tate and Liza next. I know the level cap allows me to go up into a Flygon, which I could do, but I don't want to do because the level cap for the next gym is very close at 46, so I don't want to get to that point. We have a few more battles up to that point. We could gain a lot of XP from the next few battles, so I decided to face off against Tate and Liza using my Shogun and my Altaria, which is going to be Mega. I'm able to Dragon Pulse and Dragon Claw the Soul Rock and Lunatone and beat them in 2 shots, as they do very little damage to me, as you can see. So we end up beating Tate and Liza in 2 turns, and I mean, what do you expect? A real boss fight is coming out as we face off against Archie next. Archie is going to be the leader of Team Aqua. We start the battle off against him using my Shogun to knock out his Mightyena. As you see, the battles leading up to this fight, my Vibrava evolved into a Flygon. I am able to knock out the Muk using my Flygon. And from there, he sends out his Crobat, which I go out into my Shogun next. Shogun's able to knock him out, but that leads him to go into the Sharpedo. And luckily enough, Sharpedo does not have an Ice type move, or it would have one-shot my Altaria here. Luckily enough, Altaria will Mega Evolve and turn into a Fairy type Pokemon, which resists the Crunch, and I'm able to knock out the Sharpedo. But as you see, I gain a lot of XP from that. But well for us as we face off against Primal Kyogre next. Firstly enough, our main objective is to beat down Primal Kyogre. And our second thing is we have to avoid getting too much XP where our Altaria is going to be useless. As you see, I'm switching around. This is playing with fire because it does have Ice Beam. But I wanted to dilute the XP gain from him. Unfortunately, I do gain too much XP from beating down Primal Kyogre. And also just almost lose my Altaria. But lucky enough, we do beat Kyogre, but my Altaria gained too much XP from that. No, I gotta put my Altaria into the box, so that means I can't use him for the next battle against Wallace. Wallace is going to be the 8th gym leader in the game, and he's going to start the battle off against us using, I love this, I had to start the battle off using my Shogun with an Eviolite, and surprisingly, this thing does a lot of damage. I go for a Dragon Claw, one shots to love this, which is super nice. He then switches out to the biggest threat on his team, Milotic, which has Ice Beam. I go for a Dragon Claw. I survive an Ice Beam pretty well, surprisingly. I could survive 2. And I also crit him with a Dragon Claw, force him to use Recover, and force him to constantly recover. And eventually, I actually end up speed tying with the Milotic and knocking him out with following Dragon Claw. So the biggest threat on his team is gone. He then switches out to a Celio, which has a nice move, but it's Aurora Beam. He does not go for it as he encores me into Dragon Claw. I knock out the Celio, and the battle should be done as I'm able to 2-shot the Whiscash as pretty useless, as you can see, Mud Sport me, and his final Pokemon will be a Seeking. He does get a Waterfall off against me, but unfortunately that is not enough as I'm able to beat down a Seeking and get the 8th gym badge without my Altaria. So we didn't need Altaria for that last gym fight. You know, that was pretty good. That's a pretty good showing of my team. From there, we're going to face off against Wally next and also go through Victory Road. This battle is pretty simple as we beat down his final Pokemon, his Gallade, without my Mega Altaria. As you see, we end up beating Wally and clear through Victory Road. From there, we can face off against the Elite Four, and our first Elite Four member we're going to face off against is going to be Sydney. Sydney's going to be a Dark type Elite Four member, and I start the battle off using my Altaria to Mega Evolve and Moonblast into him. As you can see, this is the entire battle. I Moonblast, knock out the Mightyena, Moonblast to knock out the Sharpedo, Moonblast to knock out the Shiftry, the Absol that didn't do anything, and also finally the Cacturne, which I forgot a Cacturne was on his team. We end up beating Sydney next, and we face off against Phoebe. Phoebe is going to be the same thing. We're going to start the battle off against Phoebe using my Altaria, just like before. Altaria is going to return actually one shot down to Dusclops, which is insane how much damage this thing does. She then switches out to her Dusknoir, which gets hit with a return as well. She goes for her Ice Punch. It does 0 damage. Oh my god. Our second return will knock out the Dusknoir, obviously. Her next Pokemon will be a Bayonet, which surprisingly gets one-shotted by Return. Return does a lot of damage. I think it's over 100 power, and it's also pixelated. So it does a lot of damage. Same type attack bonus and everything. Her final Pokemon will be a Sableye, which gets the same treatment. Return to knock out the Sableye, and we end up beating Phoebe. I'm sorry, it's just kind of repetitive as I start the battle off against Glacia next. Glacia's gonna be the Ice type Elite Four member, and I start the battle off against her using my Altaria. I can't send in my Dragon Flying type or my Dragon Ground type against this Ice Elite Four member. I can't do that, guys. I gotta go safe. I gotta go for my Fairy and Dragon type to Moonblast twice to knock out the Glalie. She then decides to go out to her Frostlass, which was a horrible idea as I'm able to return, knock out the Frostlass, and he jumps a lot of levels. I knock out the second Frostlass. Her next Pokemon will be a Walrein. I go for a Moonblast to lower the special attack, and it does work. I also dodged the Blizzard, and I'm able to Moonblast to knock out the Walrein. Her next Pokemon will be another Glalie. I am able to return into him and knock him out. Actually, Moonblast twice into him. We're not going to need a lot of Moonblasts coming up anyways. Next up, we're going to face up against the 4th and final Elite Four member before the champion. We're going to face up against Drake next. Drake, we did some diversity. We're going to switch up our Pokemon. We're going to start the battle off against Drake using my Salamence, which I haven't shown off, I just realized, until now. Salamence is going to Dragon Claw into the Altaria to knock him out in one shot. He decides to switch out to his Kingdra, which gets one-shotted with a Dragon Claw. He then decides to go pound for pound, face off against me using his own Salamence. I'm going for a Dragon Claw. I outspeed him. He lives a Dragon Claw because of his Intimidate. He goes for a Dragon Rush. I lived it just barely. I thought I was going to one-shot him, but 2 more Dragon Claws will knock out his Salamence as I'm able to win the Salamence fight. His next Pokemon will be a Flygon. I don't want to stay in because obviously bad things could happen. I decided to go out to my Altaria, which would take a Dragon Pulse, and I actually didn't Mega Evolve on accident. Luckily enough, it does not go for a Dragon Pulse or anything, so I'm able to knock him out with a Dragon Pulse. And then his final Pokemon will be a Flygon as I'm able to Dragon Pulse and knock him out pretty easily. Next up, we're going to face off against the champion next. We did a lot of improvements to my team. Before this, we taught our Pokemon a lot of Earthquakes. We got rid of all the useless moves like Moonblast and Dragon Pulse, so don't worry. We also taught most of my Pokemon Bruce, so things are pretty good on my side. As we start the battle off against Steven Stone using my Flygon, I came up with a strategy which you guys might not like. I went back to the Rock Smash move. I'm going to Rock Smash down to Skarmory because I don't have any special move on my team at all. No special moves at all. I didn't pick up any special moves because I didn't think I would need it. I completely forgot Skarmory was a huge threat to my team, so I have to continuously use Rock Smash, and eventually I get him down to low HP, but he's getting knocked me out with the poison, so I switch out into my Altaria next. Altaria will return and actually two-shot the Skarmory with all the defense drops, so that's really good. I end up knocking out the Skarmory in 2 shots. He then switches out to his Aggron, which I'm able to take an Iron Tail from. I go for a Zen Headbutt looking for a flinch. There's no flinch there. I take a Stone Edge from him, but Earthquake will knock out the Aggron, which is super nice. He then switches out to his Cradily, which I should have rested up against, but he goes for an Ancient Power. I took this opportunity to knock out the Cradily with my Altaria. He then goes out into his Armado. I go for a Roost. I take a Metal Claw. I also use this as a way to also go for Cotton Guards up against him, since Metal Claw is like a whole 40 powers. I don't think I'm scared of this Armado, I'm not gonna lie. I could roost up any damage. I have +6 defense at this point. I'm able to return to knock him out in 2 shots. His next Pokemon will be his Claydol. Next, I am able to return and then roost up any damage. From there, return will knock out the Claydol, and his final Pokemon will be a Mega Metagross. He's getting Mega up. He's going to Meteor Mash into me as an Earthquake. My Earthquake does not do enough damage. I go for an Earthquake after this, which isn't a good play. I was hoping for a max roll or something. He ends up living, and he's getting Meteor Mash and knock out my Altaria. I then go out into my Salamence. Salamence is going to outspeed, obviously, and Earthquake to knock out the Metagross. Maybe I could have roost off, but if he went for a crit or anything, that might have been over because my Salamence was at low HP anyways. I need to make sure I knock him out. And looking at Salamence is the final survivor. Our first Pokemon is our final Pokemon, as the rest of my team is dead. So surprisingly, I did not have any issues with this challenge at all. No unlucky battles at all. No crits when I didn't need them. A lot of lucky battles for me. The most unlucky part was that I forgot to plan for Skarmory ahead of time. And also, unfortunately, I didn't really want to roost off against the Metagross because I wasn't really sure about it at the final fight. So I lost 2 Pokemon at the final fight. But all in all, what I say, ORAS is a very easy game, as I'm able to beat the entire game using only 3 random Dragon type Pokemon. For sure it's a very easy game, I'm not gonna lie. So the conclusion's been made. ORAS is a really easy game. But I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. It means a lot to me that you guys make it this far. If you guys can, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It means a lot to me. And my name's been Alpha. Hope you guys all had a great day, and I'm out. Peace.